Let's show you how to butcher a heart. All right, so this is an ox heart. They have done a very nice job of trimming this for us already. When you open it up, you will see 1, 2, 3, 4 tubes that are hollow. They're about the width of your finger. All you have to do is make a little incision on the top of one and just pull it. I thought this one may already have them in there. Those are aorta, there are dos, and ventricle, of which there are also dos. They pump the blood in and out. This is a giant muscle, right? Sir, would you stand up? Would you turn around to the audience? Would you touch the top of your left leg? Top round. Would you touch the back of your left leg? No, those are your shanks. But behind, underneath, no, that's the back of your thigh. It's your bottom round, okay? Thank you very much, sir. Here's the point, right? All the pieces of meat we eat are muscles. Look at how beautifully lean this is, and you can see it's extremely finely grained. So when you see a muscle that is large grained and fat-free, it's going to be chewy. You're going to have to cook it a long time. If you look at raw... If you look at raw brisket, it's got large grain and very little fat within the muscle. So you know you're going to have to cook it a long time. This, the exact opposite. You don't need to cook this at all. It makes great tartare. You can fly this through a warm kitchen, and it'll be delicious. You can braise the crap out of it. It'll be delicious. Don't do anything in between. It's a little bit tough. But heart is the most unappreciated muscle in the world. It eats better than beef tenderloin, which is way too mushy, and it has all the sophistication of dry-aged strip loin. It is glorious, and I cannot stress enough that it is one of the best cuts of meat you could possibly chow down on. And what I'm going to do, because I really do want you to see this, is I'm going to trim this and I'm going to pass it around on a plate. So for those of you that just want to take a gander, who haven't had a chance to see it before, you can see just exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Now there's a fat cap on here that's delicious. If I'm grilling this like a steak, I can almost treat this like a duck breast. I can score it with a very sharp knife, French duck breast style, right? And I can do it fat side down and just one side. And when it starts to color through, just flip it over and serve it. Or you can just sear both sides. You can throw this on the grill, whatever you like. Would you pass that around for those that want to see it? It is clean. It is elegant meat. On the other hand, what you can do once you have trimmed it up is marinate it. Here I've got a little African berbere, which I put in there. It's wonderful. It's got a lot of chilies and fenugreek and other sweet spices in it, some garlic, some onions, some parsley, and cilantro. Absolutely simple. You can marinate it with whatever you like. I'm going with something that's fairly traditional here. I threw in the berbere because I like the sophistication of it when you're grilling meat, and because one of the other chefs who's here is a friend of mine who's from Ethiopia, and whenever I'm going to cook at an event that Marcus Samuelson is at, I always try to throw in a little berbere so I can lord it over him. He taught me how to use berbere when he was spending a lot of time in Minneapolis, and I am forever grateful. It's a great barbecue spice for anyone that likes to grill. Now, I do this on a grill pan that has holes in it on my grill outside because flipping a lot of these is tough. You can also cube it and do it en brochette, or the piece I passed around, you saw the way I butchered that into a steak with fat on the top and took away the silver skin on the bottom. You can cut right through it. It'll eat like a sirloin steak, fork and knife on someone's plate. Anticucho style, they usually skewer it, grill like 10, 12 of those pieces, and then they take it off the skewer and put it onto into a bowl for you, and they'll charge you, 25 cents in Bolivia. I'm going to try to replicate that on a plate. Not too much sauce, just enough. Now, this one-side searing, I really love. I don't know how many of you saute salmon without finishing it in the oven or do small minute steaks, but the key here is preheat your pan, cook at high heat until you start to see it turn around the edges, like a pancake, right? You never flip a pancake too early. Don't flip your protein too early either. Never flip your protein. Words to live by. That was terrible. And I can see here on these two in the middle, right here, around the edges, they're starting to turn. And I'm just going to peek underneath there and ooh. Ah. Now, here's the deal. Usually in recipes it says brown your blank. It does not say beige it. Beijing is a city in China. Browning is a cooking term. Brown your food. Brown is the color of flavor. So I go for about, what, 2 minutes on that first side, count to 30, and take it off. I am serving this rare and letting it rest to medium rare. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, I happen to know that in a pan like this, over high heat, with a piece that's about 1/3 of an inch thick, here's what you're going to get. Perfectly cooked, rare ox heart, and it's going to rest to medium rare. This is not Rosemary's Baby. This is not some sort of Andrew's in the wilds of tribal Africa or Amazonia, and he's totally messing with our heads. This is really good, solid meat cookery. And you notice that even if I'm making a hot dog for my kid, I let the thing rest for a little while because I want some of those juices that have been forced to the exterior of the piece of heart to, as the temperature is falling, and it's falling dramatically right now, it is coming down into the middle of that heart. And you can even see, if I tilt, that those juices are starting to run. It's inevitable. What I'm trying to do is minimize those juices being on the plate when I serve it. So the longer I let it rest, the better. My wife is very annoyed with me. We go to great steak houses, and I don't eat steak, but I order one when I'm leaving and take it home. And then I eat it late on the couch or the next day. I'll slice it and let it come to room temperature. I think room temperature rare grilled beef is my single favorite way to eat it. So usually I'll let this rest for about 10 minutes and serve it at relative room temperature because I think you can taste the meat better. And what I love doing is to serve this as sort of like, not an appetizer, but a shared course in my house for people. Now, the sauce here, I wouldn't call it salty, but it's got a lot of salt in it, right? And it really is, it's exquisite and delicious. You, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bring that back to your lovely wife, and the two of you can try that. It's very, very safe, family safe. Try that, let me know what you think. Anyway, that's the dish. Extremely simple, a great way to eat steak. And I'll show you here, look at how that rested to medium rare. Just absolutely gorgeous. Tremendous mouthfeel. Sir, stop reading that woman. Are you two sexting? He was staring at your text. Here, why don't you take this and let some people in the front row try that. I can't be responsible for drips, but that peanut, chili, and garlic sauce with that is absolutely perfect with the ox heart. Isn't that good, lean stuff? Yeah. Nothing strange about that. That's very, very straightforward cookery, but very traditional Bolivian street food.